Today, I'm going to show you how you can reframe failure so that you stop shrinking back when things don't go as planned, and better yet, you embrace failure as a way of building confidence so that you can keep showing up as the badass that you were meant to be. Reframes are coming up, so let's go. Hey, I'm Jen Silbert from Good Girl Gone Bold, where we do the heavy lifting of shifting from who you were taught to be to who you were meant to become. Have you ever pitched an idea, made an offer, or tried something new and it absolutely tanked? Yeah, you put your heart and soul into it, and it just really felt crushing when you got no response. Crickets, whatever happened. But I'm going to guess you maybe went into the spiraling mode where the inner voice kicked in and said, oh my God, you're just not cut out for this. It just really sucked. And so you think it's an epic failure, right? Well, wrong. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You maybe think you failed, but I don't. And as a matter of fact, I think you're a badass for showing up in the first place. So let's start there. Thing that is not good, though, is that you go hiding under a rock after this and you let this story just sort of like run your life from here on out, because that is what needs attention. So let's get honest about what's going on here when it comes to failure. Now, when you experience a failure, and I mean, name it, any area of your life. You broke a habit, you broke a promise, you had an idea that flopped, you overspent your budget, whatever it is. You may see it as a failure and focus on the failure, but the real issue is not about the failure itself. It's about the feeling and the good girl story that you have attached to that failure. It's that inner voice that comes in and it starts beating you up on the inside. It's like, see, I knew you weren't cut out for this. You made a fool out of yourself. You just keep your mouth shut. Hey, it's way safer to not take risks like that again. For real, right? This voice doesn't just respond in the moment. It rewrites your story in real time. It tells you you're only valuable if things go well, if people approve, if nobody was upset, if you didn't cause a problem, okay? And this is how identities are shaped. Identities like the good girl, who is the main character in your story after all. If you want to shift into the confident badass that you were meant to be, into this bold girl, the one who throws out bold ideas, the one who isn't afraid to put herself out there, who doesn't second guess her every move, okay? You have to reframe failure. End of story. Now, here's the thing about good girl conditioning. So the good girl was taught to stay safe and avoid discomfort. She doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to cause any conflict. So no risks equals no failure. No failure equals no bad feelings. Sounds smart, right? Until it leaves you afraid to show up, to speak out, and to step up. So you see, it's not really failure that you fear. It's the rejection and the judgment by others. Most of us were raised to avoid failure, not because of what it means about the end result, but more about what other people think about us. I mean, and failure shows up everywhere in life. It shows up when you blow your budget, and now the story you attach to that is that you're bad with money. It shows up when you miss a workout, and now the story you tell yourself is that you're lazy. You say the wrong thing, and now the story is, well, you're stupid. Your marriage hits a rough patch, and now all of a sudden you're unlovable. This isn't about failure. This is a system filtered through the good girl lens that taught you that your value depends on your perfection, how well you perform, and it punishes everything else. I think it's time to break free from that playbook. What do you think? You ready? The most powerful mindset shift that I have made when it comes to looking at failure is to detach from the outcome. Detach from the expectations. You don't need their approval. You don't even need their sale. You don't need to change your standards. You need to honor your human value. Now, detaching doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean that you don't want the results. What it means is that you aren't going to let the result define your worth. So that really is very liberating, because it means that you can launch anything, you can pitch anything, you can create anything, you can say something vulnerable, and if nobody bites, if nobody claps, if everybody just rejects it, you don't fold, you don't spiral, you don't attach a meaning that says that you are not good enough. You take a breath, you learn the lesson, you keep on going, because that's life. It happens. So shifting your identity from the good girl lens to the bold girl lens means that you have to reframe failure. You've got to be okay with not getting the applause. You don't need to wait for validation to feel valuable. And you can just stand in your power because you've got a new story. And this story says, trying means that I'm brave. Silence doesn't mean that I suck or that my offer sucks. In fact, it's pretty damn good. Not everyone is going to get me in. That's okay. I'm doing things that scare me. That's how I grow. And that, my friend, is confidence. It's not the absence of fear. It's the presence of self-trust and self-belief. So let's reframe what failure really is. 1, failure is data. 2, failure is just redirection. And 3, failure is proof that you've got the guts to at least get out there and try. Now, here's how I reframe failure now. If no one buys, hey, it's data. I'm testing. I'm just not failing. If I fumble a conversation, I don't have the right words, hey, I'm a work in progress. If I miss a goal, it's just a chance for me to reconnect back to what it is that I really wanted in the first place. The failure isn't the fall. It's staying down and calling it proof that you weren't cut out for doing this in the first place. So here's your Bold Girl Challenge. Think of a time, doesn't matter how far back it goes, it could be something that just happened today, where you felt like you failed. And I want you to ask yourself these questions. What story did I tell myself after that? Who told me how to feel about failure? And what would my inner bold girl say instead? So drop it in the comments. I promise that I'll reply when I find your comment. And if you want help reframing it, we can do this together, because I want you to walk away rewriting your story, decoding the old story, imprinting a new story on your brain. That's what we do in A Good Girl Gone Bold, is that we rewire the stories that you have and imprint that new one on your brain. So my parting words are this. Girl, you're not failing. You're learning how to keep showing up without the need to be perfect. And that is how you build real, unshakable confidence.